answer my call. I have problems to help me solve each and every day they're in my way. Should I do as promised despite this madness, or should I call it a day? And he says, shake, play music, lock, shake, break a dance, lock, shake, play my pep, lock, shake, bossy moon, lock, shake, play music, lock, shake, break a dance, lock, shake, vamos a you play. When he shake, play music, lock, shake, break a dance, lock, shake, play my pep, lock, shake, who are the dance, lock, shake, play music, lock, shake, break a dance, lock, shake, vamos a you play.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: the 47th anniversary of Dominica's independence officially opens at the State House Conference Center later today. In news from the region, Canada pledges support for a new Haiti security force with $60 million commitment. And on the international scene, the U.S. President Donald Trump announces new tariffs on drugs, trucks, and kitchen cabinets. Good morning, I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back for Up in the News this morning. The 47th anniversary of Dominica's independence opens officially at the State House Conference Center later today. Minister for Culture Greta Roberts says today's official opening at 4 o'clock. We'll hear a few addresses before a parade in the streets of Roseau on Saturday afternoon.
That's Friday afternoon at 4. We are going to have the official ceremony to open our independence celebrations. As you know, the theme this year, as we celebrate our 47th anniversary of independence, 47 years of progress and purpose. So this official ceremony will be held right here in the State House. Because it's an official ceremony, we'll just have addresses, of course, from the Minister of Culture, from the Chief Cultural Officer, and the Prime Minister. And then we close the ceremony. It's just to open independence. And on Saturday, that's where we expect all Dominicans to come out, because we are going to have the parade on the streets. So we will have all the different categories the big bottom ladies, the cultural groups, everybody that has some aspect to bring out for independence. We are going to have them on the streets. And this is why we are asking all Dominicans who are coming. It's not a fete, it's not a carnival thing, but we want people to come out with their cultural wear. And we celebrate together because we have a lot to celebrate. 47 years of independence. So come out, we will have the bands on the streets, and we're asking people to come from 3 o'clock. We start at the Goodwill Parish Hall, and when we walk through the streets of Roseau and end on the promenade. I'm looking forward to it. Independence is a happy time for all Dominicans, and we can celebrate.
And that's Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts. President of Dominica, Excellency Silvani Burton, has condemned all acts of violence within the Caribbean, saying there is no place in the region for war. Her Excellency was addressing world leaders at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York yesterday. The session is being held under the theme, Better Together, 80 Years and More for Peace, Development and Human Rights.
We do not have the power to prevent the storms and to bring the rains where there is drought. But we do have the power to limit further climate change and help countries adapt and mitigate its impact. So too, we have the power to end wars and not start new ones. We have to be willing to talk to each other, to empathize with each other. We should return to the founding principles of the United Nations. Wherever there is conflict, be it in the Horn of Africa, the Middle East and Southeast Asia, or sad to say, in the Caribbean, major powers engaging in geopolitical conflicts result in civilians becoming collateral damage, economies collapsing, increase in prices and instability. I want to emphasize here today that there is no place in the Caribbean for war. The Caribbean is a zone of peace. Any military conflict in the Caribbean will have significant negative impacts on the Caribbean and Latin America. There is a better way to resolve differences. We urge the powers that be to find another way.
Her Excellency also told the UN General Assembly that the time has come for the concerns of small island developing states to be properly addressed.
What should we ask ourselves as we gather year after year in this chamber? Are we truly listening to the nations that take the podium every year to decry poverty, inequality, climate change, underdevelopment, and conflict? Do we have a system where resources and decision-making are truly being equitably shared? Or are we instead operating a system where power protects itself? I am reminded of the old African proverb, and I quote, "When elephants fight, the grass gets trampled," end of quote. We, the small island developing states, we are the grass. In today's geopolitical landscape, we feel the brunt of the impact when global powers engage in political, economic, or military confrontation. Economic sanctions, trade restrictions, aid conditionalities, conflict, and wars, to name a few, affect global supply and the affordability, availability, and transportation of goods and materials. This significantly increases the cost of doing business and the prices of basic foods on our supermarket shelves, putting several goods out of the price range of many.
President of Dominica, Excellency Silvani Burton. Dominica is to have a trade union congress for the first time. The launch of the Trade Union Congress this morning comes after many years of discussion at various levels. General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Letar, says the initiative aims to unify worker representation and amplify advocacy for wages, working conditions, and social justice.
September 26 will mark a historic inaugural formation and the launch of a Trade Union Congress in the Commonwealth of Dominica. As trade unionists, we are all happy, we are belated, because, this initiative aims to unify workers' representation under a single representative body and amplify advocacy for fair wages, dignified working conditions, and social justice. Everybody would know that for decades, the conversion of trade union consolidation had been pursued through efforts to establish a trade union congress in Dominica. And why the excitement? Because what had always been a dream is about to become a reality. Since April 5, 2025, 4 trade unions in Dominica, namely the Dominica Public Service Union, the Dominica Association of Teachers, the Dominica Amalgamated Workers Union, and the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, with the unwavering support of the International Labour Organization, have worked collaboratively through a steering committee to bring this to fruition.
General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Leita. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says the government's housing program aims to alleviate the challenges faced by Dominicans who cannot afford to build their own homes. On Thursday, 16 families received the keys to their new homes at Eggleston. The houses are part of the government's ongoing Housing Revolution program.
But the reality is, there will always be people among us in the society, notwithstanding their best efforts, notwithstanding all what they try to do, they will not have the means of going to the banks and the credit unions like you and me to get a loan to build a home. And the question is, if these people are in need, what do we do as a government? Do I say to them that this is not a responsibility of the government, or we use the little resources that we have to build homes for them so that their children can have hope and confidence in the future of this country? That the children can study under the lights, that the children can have access to modern washrooms, that the senior citizens no longer have to bother themselves with leaking roofs, and struggling single parents at the mercies of unscrupulous landlords who rented homes for people with no washrooms, no proper facilities. Come on, my friends, we have a duty.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, parliamentary representative for the Roseau South constituency, Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte, says the government is committed to improving the living conditions of Dominicans.
This is not the end, but part of a new beginning. Today, 16 families will receive the keys to their modern, resilient homes, which will change their lives forever. We received 515 applications, and all of whom are deserving. My preoccupation now as PALREP is to review the applications, 499 of them, and to see how best I can assist and better their circumstance. I am still mindful of the fact that the living conditions of too many people have not reached the acceptable level. Our government knows this. I am aware of this. Your time to join several thousands who are living in resilient homes shall come. It is a pledge that I and our Dominica Labour Party government has made, an obligation which we are fulfilling. We don't promise which we cannot deliver. Our records are clear for all to see. Things happen in God's own time. To the beneficiaries, you are relieved from your burden of servicing rent. Hence, your current savings can lead to the production of disposable income.
And that's the parliamentary representative for the Roseau South constituency, Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte. In some more news this morning, a 21-year-old from Granby, Harold Harris Henry, has been remanded into custody at the Dominica State Prison after being charged with the murder of Lee Joshua Leslie. Leslie was gunned down earlier this month in Granby. Henry surrendered to law enforcement earlier this week and appeared before the Roseau Magistrate Court yesterday, where the charges were read to him.
According to the complaint of the police, it is alleged that on September 11, 2025, Henry murdered Leslie at Lally Granby. The incident is said to have occurred at approximately 1:30 p.m. During his court appearance, the accused, who is represented by attorney Zena Moore Dyer, was not required to enter a plea as the offense is indictable and is expected to be tried before a judge and jury at the High Court. On the issue of bail, Presiding Magistrate Hansel Valerie informed Henry that given the nature of the charge, murder being a capital offense, the Magistrates Court had no jurisdiction to consider bail. Consequently, Henry was remanded into custody at the Dominica State Prison. The matter was adjourned to December 10, 2025, for the commencement of the preliminary inquiry. At this stage, the court will determine whether there is sufficient evidence to commit the matter to the High Court for trial. Leslie's death is one of 14 homicides recorded in Dominica for 2025 and was the 13th to occur this year. Ronaldo Luke Pascal reporting for DBS News.
In some more news this morning, a 41-year-old Haitian national, Sonel Louis Juan, succumbed to injuries sustained when a truck he had been driving ran off the road into a gully in the Belfast area. The deceased lived at Massac. Police say that the incident occurred about 3:45 yesterday afternoon. Police are still investigating the fatality. And education ministers of the OECS subgrouping have been encouraged to put education reform high on their agenda. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit told the 10th meeting of the Council of Education Ministers of the OECS in Dominica yesterday that reform of the education system is needed urgently for the children of the subgrouping to prepare for the challenging period ahead.
You are fortunate as ministers to have the opportunity now to be the leaders in the transformation and the reform that we need in this Caribbean today. This is a global imperative. This is a regional emergency that we have to dramatically address the structural and systemic challenges of education. Yes, we've addressed access to education. Yes, we're addressing the issue of inclusivity. Yes, we've addressed, in large extent, the issue of teacher training. But there must be a paradigm shift. There must be a paradigm shift, or else the society will reap what we sow in the education system. And I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying personally, because that's what sometimes happens when we speak about those things. This is about us, and it's about the future of our children and the future of our society. We have to equip our children with what they need today to live in this very difficult world. Our system cannot be seen to only be preoccupied with preparing students for examinations. And if you ask me, I think there has to also be a serious structural change at the CXA Examination Council. By simply adding subjects as subjects to be taken at examination level at the CXA is not a positive movement.
And that's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. In news from the region this morning, Canada has pledged $60 million to strengthen security in Haiti and the Caribbean, including $40 million for the Multinational Security Support Mission, or Successor Force, if approved by the United Nations Security Council. The remaining $20 million will support a regional maritime security initiative to combat organized crime and the flow of illicit goods to and from Haiti. Well, the announcement came after a meeting during the United Nations 80th General Assembly sessions in New York. Internationally, the U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a new wave of tariffs, including a 100% levy on branded or patented drug imports from the 1st of October, unless a company is building a factory in the United States. Well, Washington will also impose a 25% import tax on all heavy-duty trucks and 50% levies on kitchen and bathroom cabinets. Trump says the reason for this is the large-scale flooding of these products into the United States by outside countries and the need to protect U.S. manufacturers. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. The 47th anniversary of Dominica's independence opens officially at the State House Conference Center later today. Canada pledges support for new Haiti security force with $60 million commitment. And Donald Trump announces new tariffs on drugs, trucks, and kitchen cabinets. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Yummy. Yummy. Looking for something sweet, chewy, delicious, or even crunchy? We've got you covered. Mars and Wrigley's products are the perfect pick for all your sweet tooth cravings. Available in M&M's, Twix, Milky Way, Snickers, Skittles, and even gummies. So next time your cravings are at an all-time high, choose Mars and Wrigley's.
Available at Fine Foods Inc. distribution or your favorite supermarket island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Welcome to the morning sports. Let's tip off with basketball news. The 2025 DABA Division 1 basketball title could be decided tonight as the Dr. Daru Prischler Sports Club Falcons will meet the West Coast Ballers in Game 3 of their 5-match series at the Massac Indoor Facility. Well, the Falcons are leading the series 2-0 with Game 3 set for 8 o'clock tonight. West Coast Ballers head coach Colin Luke says tonight is win or go home, and her team, well, they'll put up a fight to try to extend the series.
Well, like I said, win or go home, so that's what, we just have to come put our best foot forward. We've been strategizing different plays and so forth, so we're just going to come out and play hard.
Game 1, it was Zach Bastian who dominated. Game 2, it was Kareem Daniel. What sort of adjustments do you think you can make now for Game 3?
Well, we just have to stop them from getting to the basket, the easy baskets that we had, just stop the drive to the basket. So we have to do our best to contain that.
And how can you, get your guys more involved offensively, especially Sharon, your main scorers, Dean?
Yeah, well, we're missing too many easy baskets, so we have to take care of the ball and make sure that we make our easy baskets. So that has been a thorn in our flesh, so we have to just take care of the ball better.
All right, final words to the team, to the community as well, as you have this big game. What will be the message?
We're not going out without a fight. So, and we are going to stretch the series to 5 games, so we're not going out without a fight.
And that's the West Coast Ballers head coach, Curlin Luke. Meantime, Falcons player Dwight Timothy says while the club has some injury concerns, he feels that the Falcons can close out the series.
Right now, we have a few key injuries, but we're not letting that get in the way of what we have to do. Like you know, we have been in the finals last year. We lost by 1 point in Game 5 to the Blazers. And a lot of the guys this year, they are hungry, they're thirsty. So the game plan is to just come out hard, start off strong early, and build a momentum from there.
It's likely Yawani Regis might be unavailable. We heard of the unfortunate incident that he was involved in this week. How much of a blow is this to the team?
Well, this is a major blow because he's our main point guard. But we have 2 other point guards in Mishak Dubule and Keoma Telemak that can, fill in the gap, and they just have to step up.
In Game 2, Kareem Daniel really imposed himself, the big man. How much of a key do you think he will be in Game 3?
Well, right now he's also nursing an injury, like I said, but he will be available for the game, and he's also eager to make an impact like the last game. Knowing that the other key players may be out, I definitely believe that he will step up as well.
What will be the message to Falcon Nation? Game 3, an opportunity to go home with the championship.
Well, so we're just urging all the fans from Pichley and surrounding environs to come out and support the young guys. They need that motivation and extra boost to take it home.
And that's the Dr. Darrow Priestler Sports Club Falcons player Dwight Timothy. Meantime, in the Premier Division, the BAA Sharks took a huge step towards securing the top seed heading into the playoffs as they edged out the Pebble Super Eagles in a tight match last night at the Massac Indoor Facility. The Sharks won the game 73-69. Nestor James got 21 points, Jaden Scotland 17 and Christian Scotland 11 for the Sharks, while Siobhan Simmons got 22, Dave Alexis 17, Lennon Paul and Kaylin Paul had 11 points each for the Eagles. The win moves the Sharks into first place, or in a first place tie with the Detroit Blazers. Both teams are on 27 points. First place will be decided when the two teams meet on Saturday night. Let's move to some football news now as the Belfast Estate Mahusoka Strikers will meet Promex Harlem United in the opening match of the DFA's President's Cup next week. Well, this following the official team draw Thursday afternoon at the DFA Technical Center. The President's Cup is set to get underway on the 8th of October. This year we'll see 2 separate competitions with a knockout tournament for the Premier Division and a separate knockout tournament for the Division 1 teams. DFA President Glenn Etienne says there will also be a FA Cup involving the top teams in the President's Cup.
And we're having 2 President's Cup. We're having a President's Cup for the Premier clubs, and we are having a President's Cup for the Division 1. And even after the President's Cup of both Premier and Division 1, we will have an FA Cup, which the 4 top teams of the President's Cup and the 4 top team of the Division 1 will come together again and have an FA Cup. What we want is footballers to play plenty of football, if you want to see it that way, because the more you play football, the better you develop your craft, and it will help all of us in terms of our national team. I want to also echo that we have Series A coming up soon in the next couple of months, in November, where Dominica is participating in Series A. So that, again, will help our players to develop their craft, develop their football skill, hence we can represent Dominica. I also want to caution all the players playing in this particular league that they need to get themselves familiarized with the regulations. It is very important to get yourself familiarized with the regulation. I hope we had the opportunity, but in the future that we normally speak to the head persons of various clubs, but sometimes I think the DFA needs to go a bit lower down and invite the players, the footballers themselves, so we can have a one-on-one dialogue with them. Because a lot of times I think the regulations are there, but persons are not familiarizing themselves with the regulations, hence they get themselves into foul trouble, and the whole onus is not for the DFA to punish any club, but there must be rules and regulation.
DFA President Glenn Etienne, the LA Stars will play Baffin State FC in the first match in the Division 1 President's Cup. A major domino tournament is set to get underway this weekend involving teams from across the island, while the Julius Timothy Independence competition will slam off this Saturday.
One of the biggest domino competitions for 2025 will begin this weekend in various venues in the Julius Timothy Independent Domino League. That's when 8 big opening matches will be played. On Saturday night at 6:50 p.m., BS Stars from Anzimi will be in action against the visitors Full Effects from River Zurich in Anzimi. And on Sunday at 2 p.m., Wake Up Stars and Roadside from Portsmouth will battle it out in Portsmouth. Batside from Mao will travel to Tibo to play roadblock. Grand 4 base teams, White City and Babdad will meet in Grand 4. Warriors from Marigot will travel to Cassius to play non-players. Focus from Woodford will host one case from Dodan. Brutal Forces from Granby will travel to Vickers to play Tassie Stars. And the West Coast Credit Union, Jerry Adrian Valiant, will travel to Peebles to play Brigade Stars. Delvin Esprit reporting.
Let me say thanks to Delvin Esprit for that report. And some cricket news now. The West Indies T20 captain Akil Hussain says the senior players in the West Indies setup have to be prepared to shoulder the responsibility as the West Indies face Nepal in a 3-match T20 series starting tomorrow in the United Arab Emirates. Hussain will captain the West Indies team, which will be without a number of first-team players. The former West Indies captain, Jason Holder, well, he's joining Akil Hussain in the 50-man squad with other experienced players, including the all-rounders Fabian Allen and Kyle Mayers, and also the left-arm seamer Obed McCoy. However, the team for Nepal is largely an untested one with as many as 6 uncapped players in the T20 format for the West Indies. Well, that game will get underway at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning Caribbean time. It's the West Indies versus Nepal in the United Arab Emirates. We can also bring you some news that Johan Lane will replace Shamar Joseph in the West Indies test team for the test series against India, which starts on the 2nd of October. Reports are that Shamar Joseph has picked up an injury and Johan Lane, the fast bowler, has been named as his replacement. Obviously, this is a big blow for the West Indies bowling attack without the likes of Shamar Joseph. We'll give you some more details on that in another sportscast. Well, that's the morning news and sports news update at 11 o'clock this morning. Also, look out for the 13:15 news later on this afternoon. Until then, I'm Gavin Richard saying good morning.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
DBS News. Accurate, up-to-date, professional. We bring you the news of the nation via 3 newscasts, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. The DBS Major Morning News, 1:15 p.m. Your lunchtime news bulletin, and at 6 in the evening, the DBS Evening News. Call us at 448-4302. Listen on www.dbcradio.net. Don't forget to like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/DBS Radio. Stay on top of the nation's news with your nation station, DBS.
It's now 7:34 here on Your Nature Isle. The time made possible compliments the good folks of Do It Center. Do It Center. Elevate your home with Do It Center's color solutions from Do It Center Express. Coming up shortly, we'll bring you your morning's weather report. Just before we do so, we'd like to remind you of your Kalinago word of the day for today.